got to say it, y'all. I got to say this. I think it's fair to say that the group Gangstar, one of the greatest hip hop groups of all time. DJ Premier is one of the greatest producers of all time, and Guru is one of the greatest lyrical MCs of all time. One of the greatest lyrical rappers to ever touch the mic. He is definitely in the greatest 50 rappers list. He's on that list. And Guru really didn't curse that much in his music either. He's kind of conscious. He's a conscious rapper too. Even though, they're not from New York, but they created the New York sound in the 90s. I thought they was from Brooklyn, to be honest, but Gangstar international stars overseas too. When Guru put that Jazzmatazz album out, I remember getting that Jazzmatazz album out of that magazine for like 1 cent. Remember that magazine when you could order a bunch of CDs and tapes? I had that Jazzmatazz tape. He mixed jazz and hip hop together. He was educated with a college degree, but the way he just died, though, man, it was just so crazy. And it's sad too. It was a bunch of controversy about how his business partner treated him during his final days. It was crazy, man. So let's get into Guru's story, right? Now, Guru's birth name is Keith Edwards Elam, and he was born on July 17th, 1961 in Boston, Massachusetts. He actually grew up in Roxbury, a few blocks from where the group of kids, the New Kids on the Block used to practice and stuff. Now, he was one of 4 kids born to his parents. His father, Harry Elam, was a judge, and his mother was a librarian for the Boston public school system. Now, as a kid, he was asthmatic. He had asthma real bad, but loved music. Growing up, he was influenced by a lot of jazz musicians like Roy Ayers and Donald Byrd and them. But as far as his upbringing as a kid, he had a pretty good life. Like I said, his father was one of the first black judges in Massachusetts, so everybody knew him and his whole family. They were educators. Now, by the time he got in his teens, now according to his older brother, he said Guru was also a speed skater. But also around that time, he ended up meeting one of his best friends, which was rapper Big Shug, who back then went by the name Sugar Bear. They were about 16 years old when they first met, and from always seeing each other at parties and stuff like that, Suge was from the hood and in the streets, but they became real cool. Big Suge said when he first went to Guru's house, security guards had stopped him and pulled out guns and everything until Guru's dad told him, "No, that's Guru's friend right there." Wow. His dad was the black judge. He had security and everything over there. His family, Guru's family was living better than a lot of people in that neighborhood, but Guru...
What are you smiling at?
Have a look at this. I've just checked to see if we were affected by that PCP scandal, right? And it's come up with a potential claim value of £21,273. That it's found not only my agreements, but your agreements, because they were in my name. Look, it's found Black Horse Finance 2015, BMW 2017, Audi 2020, and Close Brothers 2021. And it's this website here. Literally went on, it took me less than 60 seconds. I didn't have to have any of them agreements. Less than 60 seconds it took me. And £20,000 is my potential claim value. It's nuts, honestly. Send that to all you little followers and everything. Get them to click on the link below.
It's time to let your ears down and escape the everyday. See Cambridge from a new perspective. Travel through time as you take in the history of Norwich. Be swept off your feet by the Essex coast. Or take in the scenery of Constable Country near Manningtree. See for yourself what East Anglia has to offer from Liverpool Street Station. Buy online or on our app with no booking fees. Great value, Greater Anglia.
He wanted to be like the cool kids, which were the thugs in the streets from the projects and the ones that didn't have a two-parent household. He wanted that street credit like Big Suge had. And, he started acting out and getting into a lot of trouble, trying to be like them. And he even asked his father, why did he become a judge? Because all of his friends hated judges. That's crazy. But, his family ended up getting him back on the right path and focus after that little street phase he went through. And after graduating high school, he went to Morehouse College in Atlanta. And Big Suge ended up moving down there too with his mom. He wanted to play football, but he ended up moving down there with his mom. So when they bumped into each other again, him and Guru hooked up and they formed a singing group. Wow. Believe it or not, y'all, Guru wasn't even rapping yet. He didn't start rapping until his senior year in college. Him and Suge was singing at first. I mean, he was still a fan of hip hop growing up, Run DMC, Busy Bee and all them, but Suge started writing his rhymes for him and show him how to rap. Big Suge was a poet and was the one who taught him how to rap and helped develop his style and flow. And once he learned how to rap, he just fell in love with hip hop and wanted to make it a career. He wanted to make a career out of it. He started calling himself Keithy E. Now, after that, and graduating with a degree in business and administration from Morehouse College, plus taking graduate classes at the Fashion Institute of Technology in Manhattan, Guru, he had a bunch of good jobs lined up, but he was focused on rap. He wanted to be a rapper now. So when he got back to Boston, and then Big Suge ended up coming back to Boston too, they hooked back up. And hip hop at that time was getting big. Breakdancing, DJing, and beatboxing on every corner. Him and Big Suge continued to focus on being hip hop artists and continued to perform at clubs, schools, parties, or whatever. And they started calling themselves Gang Starr because originally they was going to call themselves the Gangsters, but then they switched it up. The way they came up with the name Gang Starr was like Big Suge said, he was in a gang and in the streets for real, and then they added the star to it because Guru was educated, came from a good family. He was like a star. That's how they came up with the name Gang Starr, according to Big Suge. So once they became a group, Guru, Big Suge, and now they added a DJ to the group. They had put a single out and started to generate a little buzz with their music, and Guru was taking it serious. He really started to taking it real serious because he had to prove to his family that being a rapper, you can make money, you can make a career out of it. His family they just couldn't understand why he wanted to be a rapper. They wanted him to be a teacher, and they was kind of disappointed in him, but Guru had his mind made up. He wanted to prove to him that he can make it. But see, Big Suge was too deep in the streets, and Guru didn't want to be around that stuff, so Guru left Boston, went to New York and tried to get a record deal. And Big Suge stayed in Boston, and he ended up going to prison for about 3 years. So when Guru got to New York, he changed his name from Keithy E to Key T. And he got himself a job, he got an apartment, and started working on his demo and would rap at open mics and talent shows and stuff. He started going around to all the record labels hoping to get a deal, but everybody just turned him down except one independent record label, and that was Wild Pitch Records. Wild Pitch was just a husband and wife company, but the husband, Stu Fine, he ran the label. And once he got at Wild Pitch Records, he started to build a good relationship with the staff members. And, Guru had a group with him from Boston that was there with him, but they just couldn't get along. They was always fighting and stuff. So Guru cut them off and he started looking for some other members to put in the Gang Starr group. And, he would actually, when he was at Wild Pitch, Guru would actually be like the A&R at Wild Pitch Records, listening to other rappers and producers' demos who was trying to get a deal at Wild Pitch at the time. He said he even heard rapper Lord Finesse demo when he sent it there. But another one of those demos that he came across was a group called MC Top Ski and Wax Master C. Wax Master C, which later became DJ Premier.
Whether you're running down the wing for England or running your own business, you hit more goals.
Brilliant goal for England!
When you feel supercharged, take control of your business finances with Xero. Get automated, not complicated. Stay on target and on the ball. Get Xero accounting software. And just like the Lionesses, feel on top of your game. Xero, proud partners of the Lionesses. Your business, supercharged.
You know how after some vacations, you need a vacation? This isn't one of those vacations.
He was from Houston, Texas, and at the time he was a college DJ at Prairie View A&M University, but he was familiar with New York because he had family there. Premier used to be in New York a lot growing up. But anyway, so Guru heard their demo and he loved the beats though. He loved the beats because of he had a lot of jazz samples. DJ Premier had a lot of jazz samples. He had real DJ scratching in the beats, and Guru just loved that. He took their demo home and started freestyling over the beats. He didn't really like the rapper Top Ski that was in the group with DJ Premier. He just liked Primo beats. And once they linked up, got together, the rest is history. They just hit it off because of their love for jazz music. And plus, both of their parents were educators. Guru family, there was educators, and DJ Premier's family was educators. And that's when they changed their name. Key started going by Guru, which stood for Gifted Unlimited Rhymes Universal. And Wax Master C changed his name to DJ Premier. And they did that whole album in 2 weeks on April 27th.